So this is the first impressions review on the baby skin from Maybelline. First of all, can we talk about how cute this packaging is? Part of the reason why most of us are drawn to it is because it's stupid cute. Super cute Tiffany blue type teal packaging with pink writing. I mean, hello. Hello. I personally want to do a review because I want to see how it compares to any other high-end makeup that I have. A lot of people, of course, are always looking for really great primers in the drugstore. It retails for about $6, like $5-ish, $6, give or take. I paid about $3 for mine. There's a couple of sales going on all the time at the drugstore, so it's one of the best times to buy it. I'm a couponer, so I tend to get it for much cheaper. I would say I got it for about $2 or $3, give or take. But either way, I wanted to try it. There's only 0.67 fluid ounces in here, which is much, well, not hella less, but it's closer to 0.5, you know what I'm saying, in comparison to like your average sized primer, if I can find one. It's usually about a fluid ounce. Benefit is 0.75. I guess it's about 0.10 something ounces bigger than the baby skin, but a lot of people were comparing these two, and personally, from the reviews that I've seen so far, I don't think it compares. That's just me. So I'm here to figure that out. I absolutely adore the Professional, as you can tell. I wear it like crazy. I have backups on backups on backups for days for this. Of course, I work in the industry, so naturally. I personally adore the Professional. It's one of my favorite products in the whole wide world. So, hands down, one of the best products that I would personally recommend. Definitely like top primers in my list. That being said, this does a lot. It helps mattify. It is very lightweight. It's very silky on the skin. Some people like it, some people don't. It has a balmy, silky texture. And it also has vitamin E and silicone in it, so it's not going to damage your skin. It's not going to, just because it has silicone in it doesn't mean it's a bad thing. The silicone is there to fill in pores. So, big distinction between pore filling and pore blurring. I want to make that clear. This claims to blur the appearance of pores, and it says it's a pore eraser, but I think it just blurs the appearance of them, literally. This one actually minimizes the appearance of them and actually fills it in. And it actually works really well for expression lines as well. I had a client that had like a permanent scar that was literally like a dip in her skin, like no joke, she had a hole in her forehead, bro. And this is all she uses to fill that in. I don't think that this will do that, but that's just like my first kind of impression of it before I'm even playing with it myself. But just seeing all the reviews that I've seen, I'm just kind of like, yeah, I don't know if that's going to do what most people are hoping it's going to do. So let me go ahead and just kind of take out just a little bit. It's clear, looks like that. Now let me show you in comparison to the Professional, because the Professional is not clear. I mean, it's translucent, yes, but it has like a skin tone color to it when it comes out. So the difference between those two. Now when you rub it in, easily the Professional rubs in right away. Like just like that, it's gone. Super easy peasy. Literally within that time span. You feel it you feel it being very silky, very smooth, very light. When I do this guy, for those of you who have very sensitive skin, I can imagine that this will be very good for you because it says it's non-comedogenic. Non-comedogenic and fragrance-free. It says, instantly blurs the look of pores without clogging them. Transparent gel formula, smooths on clear, smooths and refined skin appearance, and it's not comedogenic and fragrance-free. It says to use by itself or under makeup, so use alone for flawless looking skin and smooth onto areas with visible pores. Smooth a thin layer under foundation for a smooth looking finish. Okay, so feeling it right off the gate, it feels like Smashbox without the slip. If you guys have ever tried the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer, the basic clear one, it feels like that but without the silicone slip to it. It's a little bit lighter. So imagine if that and this had a baby, that texture is exactly how it feels. One thing I'll tell you off the gate is that it doesn't promise any mattifying. It doesn't promise any oil control. I feel like the wordplay here is very important. So I'm going to go ahead and apply it. I'm going to start with a pea-size amount because that's like the general amount that I usually recommend for any primer. And it is very clear. Yeah, it's as clear as they come, girl. So I like to focus here. This is where my pores generally show the most, and then I'm just going to kind of work my way out. I can imagine that if you had bigger pores that you should probably press it. So I'm kind of pressing it and then spreading it. So I'm pressing it and then spreading it. It definitely feels a lot like Smashbox though, like hands down. It feels like a softer version of it, like a silkier version of it. So if you see right here, it's not filling nothing in. Like if you guys were to see how the Professional does it, it literally like fills things in. And that's part of the reason why the Professional is a skin tone sort of filling, because it fills it in very naturally. Not that clear won't work. I mean, the Professional has kind of a skin tone color to it, but it's also translucent. But this, yeah, it just makes it look smoother. Like if you're looking at me like that, and if I were to like zoom out a little bit, it just looks smoother. So right off the gate, I'll tell you right now that they're not comparable. So I'm not even going to mention the Professional anymore, because a lot of you guys are comparing it and I just don't think that they're even comparable whatsoever. They are literally two completely separate products at this point for me. That being said, as far as this product goes, I can definitely see right off the gate that my skin does look a little smoother, and I can imagine that with my makeup on it will look smoother. So I'm going to go ahead and put some makeup on, and then we'll talk about it to see how smooth my skin really looks. As I was doing my makeup, something I really don't like is I feel the slip on my face. And I don't know, I just can't. Like, I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I like things that absorb quickly. This one, I feel like it's sort of just sitting on my skin. Like, that's one thing I didn't notice. Like, when I was kind of putting on my eyeliner on, I could feel it slipping. When I was cleaning up my brows, I could feel it slipping, like, a little bit. And I don't know how I like that, to be completely honest. I'm worried that whatever I put on my face will kind of slip around because of that, which isn't a bad thing. Again, like I said, if you guys have tried the Smashbox Photo Finish and you didn't like that, that's exactly how this feels, to me anyway. The Clean Slate Poreless from Tarte absorbs a lot faster to me. It doesn't sit on my skin, and that actually has oil control purposes, and it actually weatherproofs and slight weight waterproofs your makeup as well. So I don't know how I feel about this right now, you guys. Okay, so I'm gonna put on my foundation with my hands, because that's the best way for me to tell if my foundation is truly gliding on well, because it's like one of the easiest foundations that I personally have to apply. It feels okay. It feels smooth. It doesn't feel like in a buttery smooth way, not in a bad way. Yeah, it blurs it. I would say it blurs it. It doesn't fill it in though. So I'm looking at it now and I can see that my skin looks smooth, but it's definitely not blurred. Like if you've ever read some primers where they say smooths the appearance of fine lines, wrinkles, and you know, smooths the appearance of pores or minimizes the appearance of them, etc., etc. You gotta read the words carefully, because most makeup companies, they tell you exactly what they do now. So these don't fill anything in. It doesn't minimize the appearance. It literally blurs the appearance. So I guess I can't be mad, because I do feel like it does what it says it does. Get poreless, smooth looking skin. I don't feel like I'm poreless, but it does do exactly that, where it does exactly blur. I do feel smoother. Because it doesn't have any pore filling qualities to it, I think those of you with texture may not care for this. Like when I use either the Tarte one or even the Smashbox one on clients that have a lot of texture and more bigger pores, I don't see them falling in love with it at all. So I think the same thing goes for this guy, where it just doesn't, it smooths it. It does. So it does exactly what it's supposed to do, but I would not expect it to do anything like what the Professional does. Sorry. But for those of you who just need a little bit of smoothing and want like a nice basic primer, I would say it's a good alternative to the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. Am I in love with it? Meh, I like it. But for those of you that are hugely on a budget and just need a very basic primer to start out with, and you guys want something new that's just very smoothing, and say you don't have a ton of texture and you don't have any oil control problems, your skin's pretty normal, or you're like kind of combo, I would say it's still a really good buy. I'll do an update later because I want to see how it holds up my makeup. Mostly because it literally doesn't say it's a primer, it just says it's a pore blurrer type thing. I did want to point out that it still looks really good. So I want to go ahead and kind of zoom into my skin. But then another thing I want to notice is that I actually did not develop that much shine. I wore it together with my Face and Body from MAC, And usually, at least by like the 6th-ish hour or so, I'm usually pretty shiny in my T-zone already, where I kind of have to touch up. So I was kind of happy about that actually, that I didn't actually have to touch up that much. I was like, oh hell yeah. So I want to do a little test. I have my blotting papers here. I don't see any visible shine that bothers me. I know that I'll for sure have a little bit on here, but I mean, in any case, it's not meant to, you know, control any shine whatsoever, but I just thought I would point that out, that that was something I noticed, because for me personally, I'm really picky about things that will make me shiny really quick. I did sweat a lot today for some reason, just the humidity with the rain and everything, and then the heater at work, like it went from hot to cold, all kinds of things today. I was running around like crazy because it was a super busy day, and see, like, it's not even that bad at all. Surprisingly, this is not that bad. I'm sorry, I hate to show that to you, but no joke, I could cover this whole thing on like a normal average day, and I'm actually kind of surprised. It's pretty dope, because the product itself is not meant to, you know, help with shine whatsoever, but I think because it's kind of blurring out pores and kind of laying like right on top of it, I think it's kind of helping with, you know, any excess like sweat or any weirdness happening that would cause me to be extra oily. So I actually kind of really enjoy that. That's actually kind of cool, just to notice that my makeup is still kind of pretty much intact, with the exception of, you know, little things wearing off. Kind of wore off a little bit right here in my forehead by my browsies. And I cried earlier today, sorry. But I did cry earlier today, and it withstood that right here in this area, which I thought was kind of dope. So just a little bit of extra feedback. Not that it's meant to make your makeup waterproof or anything, or it's meant to make it sweat proof or shine free or anything like that, but I did think it was cool that that's a nice little added factor to it. So if I was thinking of what kind of medium to high-end product this reminded me of. And out of all the things that I could think of, Smashbox Photo Finish, Too Faced Primed and Poreless Pure, Tarte Clean Slate Poreless, and Lancome La Base. So the texture of it reminds me a lot of all 4 of those. Basically, it's like your nice basic silicone slip primer that's clear. Oh, Sephora has one too that's a clear smoothing primer as well. Reminded me a little bit of that. So for those of you who don't want to spend, you know, over 30 bucks for one, I would say you can get away with using this guy. Is it absolutely amazing? I'm not really a huge fan of silicone slip type primers in the first place, but I do think it's a very great affordable alternative. That being said, I do think it's a great product. I do think it's a great buy for, you know, something that to get at the drugstore, something that's really easily accessible than spending, you know, bank on a primer that you're not sure if you'll love or not. So do I think it's worth it for what it's worth? Yes. Is it a product that I'm in love with? Yeah, not really. I do like it though. I like it, but I don't love it. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the review. I will talk to you guys later. Bye!